r/AskReddit. What are the signs that you're ugly? A 4-year-old tells you that you're ugly. Why are you so ugly? They say, with perfect clarity and a total lack of tact. My 6-year-old asked if I was pregnant. I'm a dude. One day I was taking my 5-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter to the mall. A bunch of teens were standing by the doors, smoking. One guy had piercings all over his face, all around his mouth, nose, eyebrows, ears, starting at the top and ending in large gauges. And my son basically shouts, "What did you do to your face?" I about died on the spot. The guy was cool though and just smiled as I hurried my son through the doors. Kids usually don't have any malice behind their questions, which is nice. When you're walking with one of your friends and every girl boy you look at walking by looks at your friend the whole time and not you. It must be nice to have friends. That doesn't mean you're ugly, you're just not the best looking in your group. We used to call those girls the Shannon of the group. Why Shannon? Dog reference? When you're in your 20s and you've never been hit on in your entire life by anyone. I see these posts all the time from women. This creep wouldn't stop hitting on me, and I'm like, damn, I must be ugly if that's never happened to me in my life. TBH, when people baby you on your looks. People going out of their way to reassure you that you look good often means that they're worried you don't hear that kind of thing enough. I see this on so many women's posts that are just pictures of themselves. Literally dozens of comments about how beautiful they are, when they really aren't. I was in town with my stepsister. She goes to another school because her mum moved her there, so her friends don't know me. We ran into them and they looked at me and ducking grimaced. They were just intimidated by the Chad vibes that were emanating off of you. LOL, society will let you know, man. People will not be receptive, especially not the opposite gender. Small talk is one way. People avoid eye contact. Conversations are often one-sided. Social situations feel like an uphill battle until someone has spent enough time to get used to your appearance, and dating is pretty much never in your path unless you strike gold. Eventually you either strike gold and find someone who can settle down for you, or you get jaded suicidal. I'm leaning to the latter. This so much. When your acne says foul beast in braille. This isn't even r/roast, but man, I'm keeping this one. Being called ugly by your friend every day. So is it really your friend? If you bump into someone in the hallway and try to pick up the things you made them drop, they say you can just keep it. Capital F. Capital F. Needing to gather info about signs that you're ugly on a Reddit forum. I know I'm ugly. Just wanna see how ugly I'm actually. See how many boxes I tick off. If you're talking to someone and despite them being really nice, they do everything in their power to avoid touching you. This is a very good indicator that someone is not attracted to you. The guy in the van is suddenly all out of candy. Whoops, sorry, we don't actually all float down here. Blind person touches your face and pukes. When he pulls out even though he's wearing a condom. He's ducking you. I think it's pretty safe to say he thinks you're not ugly. He's just being extra safe. When people don't notice that you exist. Yep, I was cute in my teens and 20s, even into my 30s, but the minute I hit 40 it was like the genetic lottery lights went out. In a way it's nice to not have a lot of unwanted attention. But yeah, basically you just go invisible once your looks fade out. I remember my high school year, I was with a group of my friends. Some girl that was from the Diamond Dance team invited all my friends to tag along to watch them practice, but until I walked to the entrance I got stopped and was told I wasn't allowed by the same girl that invited us. And if I even walked in, that my friends weren't invited. Safe to say that I know who were my real friends that backed me up and who I had to cut off. I didn't get to go in. Bros before hoes. When you don't have an alibi. Capital U. Capital G. Capital L. Capital Y. Having never gotten hit on in my life. But you're Johnny Depp. Surely that's not so. Children are brutally honest. If they tell you you're ugly, there's a solid chance you are. This is a huge misconception and it's not very true. As a child who called my babysitter ugly, she was actually extremely attractive. Kids actually just get urges to test the waters with people and see reactions. It's also based on totally different things. When I was a kid, I remember thinking one of my teachers was prettier than the other because her hair was longer. Nothing about her face or age or anything. You open up a dating profile and get 0 likes. Those things don't reflect reality at all. I've gotten 0 matches on Tinder besides bots over like 5 years, but I do okay at bars and clubs. Man, I've got news. People on r/amiably don't reply your post but downvote you. If you've ever been told you have a good personality, what if you're ugly and have a shitty personality? Imagine people talking to you. The choices you have on dating apps are allegedly a reflection of how attractive you are. I'm not sure how true this is though. Photography skills factor in, though. I know plenty of attractive people who look strange in photos. When everyone sits next to each other and are close, but people seem to avoid all accidental contact with you. I rushed to make an elevator that had a girl in it today, coincidence, and when I entered I noticed her hand was freshly off the close door button. That's pretty neat. For what it's worth, I always press that button. It's entirely possible she didn't see you coming, or saw you too late, and was just pressing it because it's what she always does. A lot of people press that button. On the other hand, you can get away with a lot appearance-wise by being useful, pleasant, and generally just a good person to have around. Right up until you leave the office. When you feel compelled to answer this post. Insert SpongeBob joke. He was so ugly, everybody died. When nobody else is ugly. Vampires prefer to bite or beat than you. When people don't laugh when you say I'm ugly as a joke, or they try to make you feel better. In all serious, I remember this and I'm gonna quote, if you always tell yourself you're ugly, you're gonna be ugly. In other words, stop being negative about your appearance and own it. Nothing's wrong with wanting to look better, but just deal with it. Make yourself look as best and don't sulk and leave your body in a bad condition cause you think you're ugly. When you think like this, others will start to think like that too because of how you treat yourself, which would then lead to you feeling worse and treating yourself worse until you depreciate yourself to a state. Is it only you that think you're ugly, or is it everyone else? Stop being selfish and own yourself. Ugliness stems from your culture and what they deem as beautiful or good looking, but just like as they are general signs of beauty accepted every, so is it for ugliness. Though no one is truly ugly, signs may come as asymmetrical face shape, obesity. Most cultures, people avoid you, you could just have a rotten personality, and people treat you worse in comparison to your friends. This was so wholesome that my upvote isn't enough. Maybe you just stink? No, I'm paranoid with that. Hygiene is important. When you spend your entire adolescence, teenage years being best buds with your crushes and being asked repeatedly why they can't find someone to date who's just like you, why can't more girls be as funny as you, without ever asking you out or showing interest in you romantically. Bonus points if you listened to this for years and then attempted to make a move because you thought that maybe they were just shy but were then rejected and felt stupid forever while they continued to strike out with girls that they continued to wish were more like you. There could be many reasons for this other than looks, dude. If you have a guy friend who doesn't ask you out, equals 9 times out of 10 he won't want to jeopardize the friendship by asking you out. It's a big leap of faith that could ruin it all if it's not mutual. If you have a girlfriend who doesn't show any signs of interest or make it known she's interested in more than a friendship, equals she's not into you. As a female who was very shy toward guys that I was interested in as a teen, your second point was completely off in my case and that of many of my friends. If I liked a guy, I would often act like I didn't know he existed, not to hurt his feelings or anything, but because the moment I started talking to him my face would turn red and I felt like an idiot. I'm guessing you're a guy. Based on the sending point, I know a lot of women who were way too shy or meek to act like they were interested in a guy back in the day. Even now, I guess. Come to think of it. When you have a face that only a mother tries to love. I looked in the mirror and didn't like what I saw. Look in the mirror and if it cracks, that means you need a new mirror. When you look into the mirror and it eats itself off of the wall so as to not have to look at you. I love your hair, never anything else. Everyone avoids looking at you. Not grooming, noticeable body odor, unhealthy habits and bad posture. My girlfriend of 2 years, while we were together, Said I was ugly, not her type. She doesn't usually go for guys like me, but I was nice to her. People ask you, where did you get such a realistic suit on Halloween? Honestly, there are very few really ugly people in this world. People just look like people. Not trying to be politically correct, but I've thought about this, and looking at people around I think, well, maybe I don't find this person attractive, but that doesn't make them ugly, and vice versa. Only true answer on this thread. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.